What did it say?
No, just.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I read exactly.
Did it say something or? Oh, it's just the.
No,
Oh, I thought it was notifications from something.
it's
It's just the bar chartio. Oh, there's nobody on. Funny.
no.
No. There's like no viewers.
Well, I mean, wait. You didn't put a notification that you were going live, huh?
No. But usually I don't. Usually I don't put anything and there's like people just coming in.
Did you message people on what's
No?
the group chat?
No? No, but what I'm saying is usually I don't tell anybody
Mm.
and people just show up. Like I think YouTube sends like a signal out or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time there's like nothing. Oh, it's like one person on.
Oh, why don't
I
you
think maybe little
message?
by little it'll like
Why
come
don't
out
you
and
message
stuff,
the chat?
which is pretty cool. What's up?
Why don't you message the chat?
Um, I'll I'll message everybody right now. Mm, mm, plus. There they are. What's up, guys? It took everybody to come in. I was getting worried because there's like I've been on for like the last 5 minutes and like nobody was coming in and stuff. Danny, what up, Danny? What's up, dude? Sunny, hey man, where you been? Was really missing your content these last 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been a busy couple weeks, man. Like I had to fly out for work last week, and and it was super busy, so I didn't really have time to make videos. And then this week, I just honestly just didn't make some because I was tired, bro. And then next week, tomorrow actually, I'm gonna be flying out again, so there's a chance that I might not post as often. But yeah, it's just because I've been flying out and it's just been real busy, man. So I'll try to be more consistent while I'm flying. I'm gonna be in Atlanta and Georgia, so I'll try to be more consistent while I'm over there. Um, but other than that, I think it's pretty solid. Other than that, I'll try to do as much as I can. Right now, I'm actually using if you guys don't know yet, I actually like to use WeWave to look for um consistent triggers on or like stocks that we can long or short or things like that. So, I mean, right now, right, I'm looking at a rising wedge, which is generally a bearish. It's a generous. It's a bearish candlestick pattern, right? Or usually it uses the MAs and up and price and stuff. So, I think we're on the 1 month range right now. We're on the 1 month range. Yeah, we should be good. So, what I'm looking for is let's look at Wolf, right? For example, if you look at Wolf, daily limit. What the heck? What do you mean daily limit? I don't have I'm pretty sure I shouldn't have a daily limit on this. That's crazy, bro. How do I even have a daily limit? Can I delete this? Yeah. See if we can still use this. Bro, I can't like. Did it get stuck here? Let me see if I can delete this too. Nope, it's not even me. Dude, how do I even reach the daily limit if I never even. I've only looked for this once. That's crazy. Yeah, so I'm trying to use WeWave to actually get. I'm not really sure why it's not letting me use anything. I'm trying to like get out of this. See, I can't even refresh. It says unlock WeWave Pro. Let me get out of here. I don't even think it's letting me log in. Where is this? Oh, here we go. How do I? Let me log out. Log in. Easy start. That's not letting me. Pro for 20. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna. I have no idea why it's not letting me. Yeah, I have no idea why it's not letting me do it. Anyways, usually what happens is I go on WeWave to look for perfect triggers on the daily. I think we saw Wolf on there, right? So I know Wolf was there on the daily. Daily. Yeah, it was way back here. It doesn't really look like, man, that would have been nice to short this. It came down from what? February 1st for the last month, 12 bucks to 7, 50%. That would have been a really good short. Anyways, I'm just kind of on here because, it's not much else to do, to be honest. Just kind of trying to waste time. How's everybody doing today? I can't even use this, bro. Can I use like a brand new, let me see if I can use like a brand new account or log in with, let me see. Dude, I have a limit here too. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm just gonna log out. What about if I do this? Control. There we go. See, we can use WeWave on incognito mode for an easy start here. Let's go with bearish. And this is a 1 week range. Let me see for stocks. INDA. INDA. This is on the daily. The daily triggered. This is on the weekly. What about the month? I think the month should be good. So ADD. ADD. Let's look for the daily. Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, I can't even use this. No, log out. How's everybody doing today? I don't know, man. I'm just chilling, dude. I don't even know what to do. What are your thoughts on SPY these days? So much going on. Bank bailouts, 25 BP hike. I don't know, man. I still think, I mean, it's kind of weird. SPY is a little funky because you're right. There's a lot going on right now. Um, but if this is what I think is gonna happen, right? I'll delete this. I showed my Patreon members earlier today, but this looks like, I mean, unless QE has started up again by the Fed, I think you're still going down, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but this is technically, right? This is essentially a perfect, um, this is a perfect pattern, right? This is just, you have your break right here, right? You have your uptrend right here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit. There you go, right? So initially, you had a break, right? Initially, you had a break of trend right here, came back, retested. So what you should be doing is pushing up like that, right? But what people don't know or what they don't think about is it actually should have pushed up from here like that, not break this downtrend or break this uptrend and then push up from here. That doesn't happen, right? So I'm still pretty bearish to be honest. Like if you were gonna push up, you would have pushed up from March 2nd ongoing, right? You wouldn't have broken this uptrend that you have going right here, came down, retested. So, as of right now, I'm still pretty bearish. And if you go on like my Patreon and stuff, you're part of the Patreon, I'm still bearish. There's always a chance that we can go up to the high side, but I'm extremely, extremely bearish, man. I think everything's gonna go down regardless of banks, all that stuff happening. Unless the Fed announces QE. I don't even know where that chart is at. Let me see. Fed QE. Let me see if we can find it. QE chart. I don't even know where it's at. Total assets of the Federal Reserve. Let's go with that. Accessible version. Where do you find the chart? Is it Fred? Fred grab total assets. Oh, is this what it's gonna be? Total assets. Yeah. So I think recently they've pumped up like crazy. I mean, if this is actually gonna be what the chart is, I actually don't know where the chart is. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Right, so let's go like right here. Let's go. I think this. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the chart, right? So you've had a significant push, right? You came all the way down for the Fed balance sheet, and then out of nowhere, right? You're essentially back at like these levels. So back on November. Um, so I mean, you're back at what was October, November? That was March 3, 4, like 4 or 5 months in the span of what from March 8th till just for the all in March, you gave up about 4 months. Um, this is in fact quantitative easing, right? Regardless of what anybody says, this is QE. Anytime that the Fed actually adds to their sheet, this is QE. That's it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the stock market is going to continue up because of this, right? I mean, you haven't seen, but again, also, you've never really seen a pivot where it actually starts coming down again, right? I mean, you have this, right? Kept adding, and then you started coming down. At first instance of a pivot, right? It just continues to the upside. And I think that's happened every single time before. So let me see if I can do this. I don't think there's any other instance where there isn't a pivot in the history of the Fed and it comes right. Oh, yeah, here it is, right? So here, let's do this. How do we do this? There we go. So let's look at this. So you actually do have instance, right? You actually start pivoting here back on November or December of 2008. So you actually do pivot, right? You pivot from November to December, and then again for December, right? You pivot all December, and then again they start completely going down on their balance sheet. So I mean, there are instances where they have, started adding again, and then it completely goes back down. But I mean, I don't know. I don't unless they really start announcing QE or you really start to see some acceleration in QE, then I don't know. I think we're still down. I think we're still trending down. Do you connect with the Patreon members daily? How does that work? Yeah. I mean, not through Patreon, but through the chat. I have a Patreon chat that I'm on like 24/7 almost, to be honest. Um, and I do post on the Patreon. It's more weekly posts or more important posts. So if I do think that, like, for example, that we close like a bear week, then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely a big signal to start shorting. Or, you know, I think I see some like weird, really weird chart or something on Bitcoin or something. So the actual Patreon itself is more for big indicators, for more for big news. But the chat is really where it's at. It's like 24/7. There's always people there. So I spend 99% of my time on the chat, and I usually post big news on the Patreon for, whether we close a bear week, a bull week, things like that. So generally it's pretty solid. Um, but yeah, the Patreon I usually leave for big news. I update it every once in a while, maybe once a week or things like that, but it's generally only for big news. If there's like a big event, or if I think that I think that we're gonna drop extremely hard or something. But that's also where you have all of that on Patreon. It's where you have all my strategies, all the indicators and stuff right now. I'll do it right now. Yeah, bro. I mean, here. I mean, usually I put the. There we go. What the heck? Here, you can join here. That's the. There you go. You can join there, bro. If you want to, you can join. If not, that's cool. Yeah, but the Patreon is usually, like I said, the Patreon's going to be for big events, big news. It's also where I put all my strategies, all the indicators, and everything. But the chat is more. I'm on the chat like 99% of the time, just because, that's where we all spend our time, honestly. AMC. Yeah, I'll do the AMC stuff right now. Thoughts on GME? Had a nice 5% green day on Friday. I think I'm actually super short on GameStop right now. I think GameStop's gonna come down. Um, Let me see. Yeah, so I think GameStop already topped, right? I think it can go a little bit higher, maybe wick up to like $25 again before you start your initial drop back down to like 17. But yeah, GameStop, I don't really need to do too much TA. Just because, I mean, you have this massive, 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 massive gap here. And GameStop is not known for leaving, gaps open like this. So, I mean, you're gonna fill this gap on GameStop. Whether it's this week, next week, in a month. I have month out puts on GameStop for $18. Because I do think that GameStop's gonna come down hard within like the next month or so, probably. But it does look like you already have, yeah, I mean, you can go a little bit higher on GameStop, but I think for the most part, you're headed back down to 1760. Because, I mean, GameStop's not going to leave this massive gap open. And I think the drop's going to be starting this week. So you might actually see $18 this week. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think the drop's going to happen very, very soon on GameStop. And I think AMC, I don't need to do the chart on AMC because I think AMC is going to follow. If GameStop drops really hard, AMC is probably going to drop harder. Um, AMC hasn't really done a big move or anything. I mean, you're still on trend here, so I think for the most part, right? Let's go. Actually, let's do this. I think you can do like this. That's way too big. Let's do that. Right. So I think GameStop like that, something like this. Right. So I mean, you're probably gonna retest up here at $5 again before dropping again. Probably dropping to like a 388. So I think there's a really good chance that you pump up here before you dropping down, or you just pop straight down to like a 388 or so. So I'll probably move this a little bit. Like I'm gonna move this like right here. So two things that can happen like that. There you go. You either pump to retest, right, and then you come back down, or you just come straight down. Either way, I think you're going down to like a 388. It seems extremely likely that AMC is going to keep dropping back to this support here, like 380, which I should probably set here. So I'll do that right now. So like right here somewhere, like right there. Yeah, because you already broke this trend, right? Like you already broke this trend here. So what? Do I have two? Oh damn. Yeah, so you already broke trend. So yeah, I give this like I don't know, maybe the next 2 weeks or so before you either come up and come back down or you just come straight down. But I think you probably sell off towards earnings. So I think more than likely by earnings, which is what is this? May 8th? You'll probably see 388 again before earnings, I think. I don't like AMC. I think AMC is a really bad company. So I think people are taking the bank bailouts as QE. That's why markets are not tanking. I don't think the Fed will lower rates. Upcoming credit crunches makes things interesting. Yeah, everything's just funky right now. They're definitely pumping up the market because of the bank stuff. So if inflation does plummet, then I think that we'll keep running super hard. Um, Agree with you, looks bearish. Yeah, as far as TA goes, everything looks bearish. But like I said, if QE actually starts back up again because of the whole bank situation, then I think we can really start running super hard to the upside. Been following since the TikTok days. Really enjoy your content. Thanks, bro. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been on. I mean, I don't really do anything on TikTok. I got banned like a long time ago, a couple months ago. So I don't really like what is it called? So I don't really like do anything on TikTok much anymore. Um, but what is it called? Thanks, man. Thanks for following me. I know I've been on here for like what, 2 years now? 3 years? I don't even know how long I've actually been on YouTube. I think YouTube I've been on for like 2 years now, I think. And TikTok was just I just started it for fun because why not? Um, but thanks, man. Appreciate it. I just saw the email come in that you joined, man. So thank you. I really appreciate that, bro. Join the chat, Sonny. Join the chat. You're gonna love it, bro. Done subbed. For a Big Mac meal, you will have a full month. I agree with you. Looks bearish. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I'm just like everything looks bearish to be honest. Like I said, really the only real reason that everything like keeps running up is if the Fed keeps pumping money into the market, which is extremely likely, right? It's a thing that can happen. It's very likely that the Fed keeps pumping money because they don't want anything to crash. They don't want people to like suffer and stuff and things like that. Um, but even right now, like you just closed the 4 hour bull trigger here this past week on the SPX, so and you're breaking trend here. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. You know, what is this? This is definitely. Oh, am I doing this wrong? Oh, it's right on there. Why is my why are my trends wrong? Why are my trends wrong? So I would put it like I would set it like yeah, it's supposed to be like right here. This I'll get rid of for now. But again, you're on this strong uptrend here, right? Ever since March 13th, you've been on this strong uptrend. Pretty sure you broke. Yeah, this looks like, I mean, you're right here. You're right on trend. Yeah, I would not use that. I would definitely use this right here. There you go. Definitely use that. Definitely like right there. So I do think you already broken out, right? But I mean, you've had a lot of cases here where, you know, this definitely broke. I mean, I don't know. It's in a super funky place. Look at this, right? You have a really funky place. You have this trend here, right? This one right here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So that trend right there, right? That's been a really strong trend for months now, I think. I think for since December, January, you've had this strong uptrend for an extremely long time. Since when? This has been here since October. So you've been on this uptrend since October, right? Right here. And you just broke it in March 9th. Broke it, came down, currently going back up, right? This is technically what I would consider a perfect retest on that major trend right there, right? This is what I would consider a perfect retest right here. So, general direction as of right now should be, right, straight down to 380 and then from 380, you know, all the way down to 365 roughly, right? But, there's a lot of stuff maintaining this price for the upside because what? This is March 13th. So you've really been only trading up for like 10 days or so. So you could definitely be at a top right now for the SPX. But if you break this and you keep pushing to the upside again at 402, if you come back up to this trend, the probability of us moving up higher is very high, right? And not only that, but if you break this trend here, right? If you break this, you're technically breaking this trend right. You're technically breaking this trend right here. That trend. Let me get rid of this one. Not rid of, but you know, make it skinnier. But like, you see how there's another like big prominent trend right here, right? You tried breaking it back here, you couldn't. You sold off right away. But again, if you break this, right, what you can do here is, you break this, come up to like here or something, come back down like this, and then you just push up like that, right? And that would be extremely bullish. So, I mean, if we're not at a top right now, it's going to be extremely scary because really, if you break this, come up here, come back down to trend, you can really start pushing up. So it's in a very funky place right now because it can do so many things, man. SPY can do so many things right now, and especially with this big candle push, right? Big candle push. What the heck? I mean, more. So especially with this last big candle push, right, on Friday, like this whole move, right, from 390 to 397 in what a day. That's got to be one of the most like, one of the biggest bullish things you can possibly have, right? And even here, I know I'm rambling on, but there's a lot to talk about. Like, I don't like using these long wicks up here because it's too, generally I don't like those. But right, you have another like trend right here too, another minor trend right there, right? So you can definitely push up to like a 399 and then tank from there. There's so many things that can happen right now. It's way too many things to make this be like extremely like predictable. There's too many things going on, and it's super hard to actually know like what trend, what support, what everything. Usually, what happens is, the only thing you can really trust is like main trends, which again, the only main trend here, right? We get rid of everything. There's only really one. There's one main trend. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. And you get rid of that. The only main trend is this one right here. And you already broke that on March 9th. Was already broken. Came down, right? Bounced off. Retested. Technically, you should be going all the way down to 3651. That's where you should be going. And if you want to have like a really solid target of where it can go, you add this, right? You essentially add this right, like right there. And then you run a fib, a trending fib, grab the second wick touch to here, run up the forecast right there. There you go. And now, this is what I like to call, this is a strategy that I have. It's called divergence. And this is something that this is a trade that I would take every single day. Um, right. And even so, right. Again, run this. We are at, look at that. Look how perfect that is, bro. You're currently at that 618 retracement. You went all the way to 0.786, came down. You're at 618 right now, which is perfect. I would consider this a perfect divergence play. The only thing missing now is we want to make sure that the 50 and the 200, the 50 is under the 200, right? Which I think actually is, but the stochastic isn't actually at these highs, which is a little bit worrisome. Maybe if we go down to the 4 hour, nope, 4 hours not there either. 1 hour. 1 hour is the 1 hour is there, but I don't know if I would consider this divergence. Let me see. Yeah, there's too many pushes up, right? But again, if I were to take this trade, I'd take this trade, I'd short this. This is in my sense, this is a perfect short every single time, right? I'd set my stops right here, like a little bit above this wick right there, right? I'd set my stop right there, like I don't know, it doesn't have to be perfect, like 401, 402, and I take this trade all the way down to a 365, and I would just hold this, and that's basically my trade right here. You're looking at a 8.5 R&R. This is my trade right there. You're essentially risking, whatever. If you're doing percentages, right? If you're running percentages, you're risking from here. You're risking 0.8%. So not even 1% of your portfolio. You're risking it to make like almost a 10% gain. And again, obviously it's different because you might be in options or your forex or whatever, so you might be a little bit leveraged. But I would consider this a perfect trade every single time. I would take this hand over fist every single time. There's no reason why I would not take this right now. No reason. This is such an easy trade right here on divergence, right? 618. You're on previous, like, this is all market structure, right? So right here, right, you have market structure right there. All this is market structure. All this area, right? This whole area, some solid market structure. Let me see. Right here, look at that, right? You have market structure right there. Market structure all right here. I mean, this is definitely an area of what is it called? Of like a lot of resistance, a lot of support. See, all this is resistance right there, or supports, resistance, support. Like this whole area, man, is kind of nutty. Like right here, right? Again, all this area. So yeah, I would 100% take this every single time. So I would definitely consider myself extremely bearish on SPX. And it should actually be opened already, I think. I think XPX should be open, right? Yeah. I think it has like a minute opened. So let's see where we are with that. So we'll see. Yeah, so this is the trade that I would take. I would take this from here, short it, and then if it goes past like 402-ish, then I would 100% get out because we're more than likely. But technically, and for technical reasons, you should be crashing here, right? I mean, let's look at 30 minute. 30 minute, there you go. The 30 minute is already giving you that signal. So you should, in theory, be 100% rejecting from this level. Like we should, as of this moment, while we're looking at this, this should be the top of the SPX. And I actually want to look at the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ should be coming back down as well, yeah. And the NASDAQ, look at that. The NASDAQ you're still in a bear week on the NASDAQ, right? Let's look at this. Daily, an hour. I thought the NASDAQ actually closed a bullish week. Why is it showing bear? That's weird. So for some reason, the NASDAQ is actually still showing a bear week right here, and I don't know why. And I'm not going to look at the settings right now, but yeah, essentially what I showed you guys, I think if there is a top, I think we are, as of this moment, we are at the ultimate top. So, I will more than likely take the short. So again, either I get stopped at 402 or the next stop for SPY is going to be 365. It's really that simple. The rug pull is going to be harsh when shit finally hits the fan. Yeah, dude, I think everything's going to be going down eventually, right? Um, so we'll see what's going on. It's hard to say because QE can fuel inflation, which is their number one. I mean, the Fed always lies. The Fed's gonna lie. The Fed's always gonna lie to keep people happy or like the government happy or to make sure that the economy doesn't fall. So that's why everybody says never fight the Fed, right? Don't go against the Fed because they'll do anything, even make inflation go back um, to basically like run inflation to hell or go back into QE and basically make inflation um, what is it called like high up again just to save the banks and stuff, which is fine, right? Because you don't want the economy to crash, but at the same time it's like how many handouts can they get? It's their own problem, really. For those of you asking about what is it called, for those of you guys asking about Bitcoin, I still think it's going to crash. I think as of right now for this trend here, I think it's going back down to like I don't know, like a 19K. I think you've already topped, and I think Bitcoin's going back to like a 19K. Just my opinion, right? You don't have to take what I say as like all truth and stuff, but I think Bitcoin's gonna crash. What does market structure mean? Market structure can mean anything. Um, it really just depends on what you're talking about. But market structure is everything. It's market structure is what do you call it? It's support, it's resistance, it's trend breaks, it's price action, things like that. So I'll show you exactly what it means. I don't know, I'll get like a random chart. Let's go with GBP US chart. Let's go with this one, right? So we'll keep it simple. Market structure is essentially, see, right now, even right now on GBP on GU, right? GBP USD, right? You have here. This is actually a really perfect example, and I'll show you guys right now. So you have a very perfect example of what market structure is going to be right now. So if you just take this range right here, this range that we have in front of us, um, you have a perfect trend going up, right? This is considered just a regular form of market structure, like support and resistance. It broke market structure, which basically means, or what I'm trying to say is that it broke this trend here, right? And usually, what happens, um, usually when what happens when you break this market structure, there's always something that leads to it, right? It's textbook. It's like saying, you know, if it's dark out, that means that the moon is out, right? It's just a thing. It just happens. If it's day out, that means that the sun is out, right? Um, it doesn't mean that it's impossible for the moon to, not be out when the sun is out, but the chances of that happening are almost zero, right? So what I'm trying to say is when you have a market structure of like this, right? This is just a regular market pattern where you go consistently up like that, up, up, and then you break this trend here. What usually happens is you break trend, you come back up and retest the bottom of this trend, and then along a lot of this time, you actually end up going back to the lows of where that trend was started. So in this case, right, you have this trend and it's been going on for since March 8th, so about 20-ish days, right? You've been on this uptrend on GU. So it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, and it breaks this trend. The next stop that it's going to do is more than likely, and you can actually probably set this up even easier, right? You can actually use the fibs to run this up. You can actually use the fibs, grab the top there, run it down here, run it right to the little wick right there, right? And we'll zoom in right now to make it easier for everybody. Let me get these arrows and stuff. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Whoops. Right. Grab the fibs. Top, top of the wick. Lower the wick. And then we'll do this. Right. We'll do this. Right. You can actually run this up to where it's probably gonna. The candle's probably. You're probably gonna come up here. You're probably gonna create a candle somewhere in this range, and you're more than likely gonna wick up, right? So you're gonna retrace that to that 618 level, which is probably gonna be like to here. Maybe you throw a wick all the way up to this trend up here, like seven, so like a 0.786 wick. Candle closes right here, and then from here you go all the way down. Generally, that's kind of what happens, right? So more than likely, you're gonna keep pushing up on GBP USD, which also means that you're probably gonna go a little bit lower on the dollar in general, right? But you already broke that structure. So that means that the dollar eventually is going to have a lot of power to the downside, right? So you're going to push up, retest, come right back down. Um, See, it's very simple. And then again, also for like the 4 hour, right? If we just look at this trend here, see, and it's been, look at that. It's been almost perfect every single time on the triggers, right? Almost perfect every single time. So, probably, actually, maybe we can do this actually. And probably do it right there on that low wick. I usually like doing the lowest wick to the lowest wick, so we'll keep it there. So, again, you'll probably also see market structure is also support and resistance. So, horizontal. So, again, you have structured market, you have support like right, I'm just gonna get it like right there. You have market structure like around here, right? You have market structure around like this, maybe a little bit lower, like right there. Market structure here, and then market structure right there. And again, it's really just support and resistance, right? So again, you're probably going to do something like this, where you push up a little bit harder from here, like that. And then your next level is probably going to be here, right? Maybe you bounce up again, like maybe you from here, you bounce up to like right here, and then you crash all the way down to like here. Maybe you come back up, and then you go all the way down here, right? Something like that. But again, the eventual target after you break that is going to be your initial start of the trend, which was back there. So I personally, if I were to take this, right, if I were to take this trade, I would wait till it retests this trend, right? And I'm essentially just shorting it from like somewhere like right here, right? You short it from here. I'd set my stops a little bit above that trend, right, in case it does decide to go back up. But that's basically your trade right there. That would be your trade. And you would hold this for, I don't know how long, man. You can hold this for a very long time, right? And this essentially would be your trade. That is what I think will probably happen. See if I can move this here, somewhere like that. I don't know, yeah, something like that. That's probably going to be your trade right there. As soon as that trend touches, set your stops above these wicks, maybe a little bit higher if you want more wiggle room on the previous high, like right here, right, a little bit above these wicks right there. I'll probably set it. I'll take this here, like right there, but that's basically your trade. Simple market structure, right? Market structure. There's a trend here. It broke it. Probably going to come back up to retest. Your eventual target is going to be down here. That's really it. It's really very simple. Simple, simple, simple. I hope that makes it. I hope that makes it easy for you guys. Damn, already 45 minutes on here? That's crazy. I didn't even think that. I didn't realize that it was so, you know. Oh, you're running. Look at that. You pushed up hard. You're already at 398. Yeah, so you're definitely running to the upside right now. 15 right here. So this probably means that the dollar is dropping. Yeah, there you go. You have a small little gap here at 103. So you're more than likely going to fill that. But chances are you have a really good chance of dumping even further, right? Especially because on the dollar, you technically already have a high and a high with the 4 hour bear trigger. So I'd say the next level for the dollar is going to be probably a 101 right here, a 101.3. So the dollar is probably going to come here. Dollar is probably going to go down there. And that means that the SPX is more than likely going to keep running to the upside. So yeah, that's what it looks like right now. So more than likely, you see how it's like actually, you see how it's still pushing? That's a nice pop there, right? And this is all pre-market, right? This isn't even with the market open. This is all futures. So again, you know, this is a trade that I would take. It looks like you are headed up to this trend here at like 401, 402. Um, yeah, if it ends up breaking this part, you're gonna start running super hard, and I can definitely see us going to like 420, 430 in like a month or something. But again, I'm pretty sure this is all because, Everybody thinks the Fed is throwing QE and stuff, but as of right now, with that open, SPX looks extremely bullish right now. Can you do an example on Bitcoin to see how you would take a short or long? Well, I think on Bitcoin, I would just probably use the triggers, bro. Like, right, like on Bitcoin, if you're gonna be shorting this, it's generally pretty easy to like short this stuff. I mean, I don't really trade crypto too much since I like martingale and everything, but I'll give you like this example, right? Like, let me see. I'll give you one perfect example and one not perfect example. So, see how we have this trigger here on the bear side, right? You know, where's my? I'm not gonna do support and resistance because that's probably all stuff that you guys already know how to do. But I would probably take the short right on that trigger on the bear side. I take it right here. Take the short there on Bitcoin. My stop loss would be a little bit above these wicks, and then my take profit would be on that previous um, level right here of support right there. So bear trigger, you take it after the close, right? My stop would be a little bit higher right there, above these highs right here, and eventually in a couple of days, right? You went from 24.5 all the way back down to 21.5. So that was a $3,000 drop on Bitcoin, or I think that's like a 10% drop. So that would have been, you would have been risking, let me see, you would have risked 4% to make 10%. So this should probably be like a 2 to 1 R&R, I think. 2 to 1. Yeah, 2.8. Yeah, so almost a 3 to 1 R&R, which is pretty solid. I only take trades that are uh, 3 to 1 and higher usually. Um, and this here is a setup that actually wouldn't have worked, right? So in a case like this, right, where you actually break trend to the upside, I would expect the retest down here. So in this case, because we actually had that first trigger on the bear side for the daily here, I would have actually taken the trade there, right there, right? Well, actually, that's not it. So shorts, I would have taken it after the confirmation to close. I would have taken it right there. Again, my stops would have been a little bit above the high, right? Because if it's there, then it doesn't really matter. I would have had my target be the previous or that trend, right? The retest of the trend. So you would have had it like something like this, like that, right? So you would have taken this trade at like 20,500, and then it would have dropped all the way down to roughly 17.6. Again, that would have been another like roughly 10% drop, and from 225 to 21.6, 1,000 of 20, you would have been risking maybe like 1% of your account. That would have been a 1% risk, and you would have been doing a 2.7 R&R. So it's not bad. You risk $10 to make like $30, I think. So that's the easiest way that I can explain it. But again, that would have been a short here, right? And then for a long, this is what I consider a perfect long, a perfect entry. Long right here, right? On Bitcoin, bullish, stochastic at lows, that bullish trigger. I would have taken it right here. That would have been our long. My stop would have been in order, a little bit under like the wicks right here. So a little bit under, maybe like right there. And then my target, right, would have been the next resistance level up, which would have been 24.9. And at that point, let me get rid of this because I don't want to get this one in. I don't want to get everything together. But the next level would have been right there, right? And you would have cashed out here at 24.9, or you would have essentially just set your stops, right? So this would have been a 4.7 R&R. So you'd have probably you could risk like $10 to make like 50 or 60. So again, that would have been a perfect entry. It would have ran all the way to the highs. Let me send this to the back. Visual order, sent to back. There you go. See? Perfect entry. You would have gotten out at that next level of resistance. And same thing here, right? Same thing right here, right? Perfect entry, on position. You would have entered after the trigger here. So perfect entry right there. And when it comes to the daily, you don't have, and I would have actually set my trigger up here at 24.9. So you could have take profit. You could take profit here, or you can actually just adjust your stops all the way going up, right? And when it comes to big candles like this, you see how you have this big daily candle like that, big daily candle. I would have gone in after the close, but what would have happened with me is why is this? Why is this here? There we go. Yeah, that was weird. Let's do this. So I'll do it again. Entry would have been right here, right? And then send this to the back because I don't need it showing in the front. Send to back. Whoops. Send to back. This stops would have been somewhere a little bit higher here. Let me shorten this up a little bit. Let me go down to the 4 hour. There you go. And the day ended. Where did this day end? So the day ended March 13th, March 14th. So I think the day ended actually March 13th. So here. So you would have actually taken the trade March 13th. So yeah, you'd have taken it here. And I don't think I can actually find. I would have probably put it at the low mark. So this wick right there on the 4 hour. I think we can go lower. Trying to see. Trying to see where the day candle ended. March 13th. March 13th ended right there. So you would have actually taken this a little bit higher, like right here. So I would have actually had my stops at these lows here. So yeah, this seems about right there. So I would have had my stops at these lows right here. My target would have been the next level up here at 26.5. So this can actually be pushed a little bit more this way, right there, right? My stop would have been, I don't know, let's do this. Stop would have been somewhere like this on the, it's usually the relative low, but my next target would have been up here at 26.5. And you would have more than likely taken profit there. Or if you would have left it open and then you would have adjusted at break even or something, you would have probably been stopped out immediately, like right here. If not, you would have been stopped somewhere right here, right? So there's always a really good way of like setting this up and stuff. And like I've always told you guys, the daily is just super solid. So if you guys are trading the daily, you know, you guys have a really good chance at like, making something decent. Like again, right? Your daily trigger was here, right? Your daily trigger was around this area, like around that area. Doo-doo-doo, right? Your daily trigger was right. Daily trigger was right here. Your perfect daily trigger, right? So your initial daily trigger was right here, that area. And then your perfect entry for the daily trigger, your first one was right here, this area. And then you had another one here. But this probably wouldn't have worked because you would have probably taken it here. So you would have been stopped out, which is fine. That happens. But again, see, daily trigger, push up, perfect entry, daily trigger, push up. See, daily trigger, entry, you would have gone stopped out. Second daily trigger, stopped out. Third daily trigger, you would have gone in before this huge pop on 19.2 to 22.7. So it's really not that hard, right? Again, daily trigger. You would have gone in right here, gone in up here, swung this all the way to 24, 25K. Or if you would have started adjusting your stops, right, you would have been stopped out probably somewhere in this area. So if you listen to the daily triggers on the perfect entries, you're pretty much solid. There's a really good chance that you'll do really well. But yeah, that's generally how I would take it. I hope that explains a little bit how I would take the trade. Tony, what about Netflix? Let me see. Look at Netflix, bro. Let's look at the SPX again because I'm pretty sure it should be running right. Yeah, it should be breaking highs or something. I'm not surprised that it's still running. Look at that. 398.8. Yeah, you should be heading up to like 401, 402-ish right now. It looks like. Yeah, you had that nice cancel in the 15 minute. Everything's popping. Yeah. If you don't reject, like I said, if you didn't reject from here, you're probably going all the way to like 400, like 402 ish. If you do break this high of 4,000 or like 4,000, like 4,020 or 402 on the SPY, there's a really good chance that you're gonna keep pushing to the upside super hard, man. And more than likely, look at that. You see how these green things show up? That tells me that the weekly is already bullish, or it's starting to go super bullish. Actually, why is it doing that? It's not supposed to do that. There is no. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's what I was like. Wait, why is it doing that? Yeah, I was using the daily. I don't want the daily. Now it's 100. Let's go to Pepperstone. The Nasdaq. Yeah, the Nasdaq should be bullish on the weekly. Yeah, it should be bullish on the weekly. The Nasdaq. The Nasdaq. Did it come back down a little bit? The Nasdaq starting to come back down. SPX not really. SPX sort of. Where's the dollar at? Dollar. Oh yeah, dollar's coming back down super hard. Look at that. Just broke lows again. So yeah, broke all lows. So dollar is definitely gonna be coming back to this zone for sure. I'd say like around here. Expect the dollar to become to coming back like right there, which is this next order block right here on the 30 minute. You see on the hour, nothing. Yeah, I'd say here, probably here, probably this area. You're gonna see the dollar come down to. Netflix. She up? All right, cool. I'm gonna get off this really fast.
That's fine. I'm gonna go play with her outside.
Okay. Netflix looks like it's yeah. Netflix looks like it's going back to like a 345, like 350. Netflix looks like it's going back to 350 and then coming right back down. I'm telling you, it's just everything looks really strong. Everything looks like it's doing really well to the upside. Yeah, even right now, right? Bear trigger trading sideways. I can see Netflix push up to like a 353.
Yeah.
I don't need to do too much TA on that to be honest. What's the best way to buy puts right now? Would you wait until market opens or put in an order now? Also, would you buy the puts at the money or somewhere lower? Always at the money. If you're gonna do options, I think personally options are scams. I don't like trading options. I very rarely do. I currently have a very big option position in Tesla, but I very rarely trade options because I think they're absolute scams. I trade on the foreign exchange market because you can swing a trade on there for months and it won't expire, right? The fact that options expire is should be a huge red flag for you guys. Like that's a scam on itself, right? But the only way that I buy options if I see a huge trigger on something, right? Like on Tesla, I saw the weekly, right? On Tesla, I saw the weekly bear trigger, right? Trigger down here at 173. It closed. That's where I bought my puts, and then Tesla rallied. Oops. Then Tesla rallied like $20, right? And again, it rallied because it closed here at 183, right? It closed a bullish day. Tesla closed a bullish day right there, right? And that's why it kept rallying to the upside, hit this trend, right? And it's currently going to continue to go down now. So I do think Tesla is going to start coming down now. Um, 30 minutes going to go, 4 hours going to go bearish. I think the 8 hour is going bearish too. 8 hours going bearish. I think the 16 hour is going bearish as well. 16 hour, and I think the daily is going bearish as well. So I think Tesla's already hit its peak. I think it's going to start its positioning down. But I would only buy on maybe like dailies or weekly triggers and stuff. I really would not buy on any other occasion. And I usually just use, supports, support and resistance, major support and resistance, trends, things like that. So, if you hit like, this support at 201 for Tesla, I'd buy puts, right? Why? Because it's a major resistance plate zone. Or if you come back down to here to 168, I'd probably buy calls because it's a really big spot for these stocks to play out. So I'll give you a really easy example here. Let's go with something like AMD, right? Let's get rid of all this stuff. because we don't need any of this move drawings, right? We'll go on the weekly, right? Yeah, super easy range. It's not much going on here for AMD, right? So you have a nice little range here on AMD from here. You have a nice support system there, probably here, probably right there, right? Maybe again right here. Again, somewhere like probably right there. Do you have anything here? Let me see that I can see. Probably a little bit higher, like right there. And then you have more resistance around this level right there, right? So, right, this whole area here on AMD, let me see, right? This whole area is market structure. Look at that. Look at all that resistance right there, right? Look at all that resistance. I'll even circle it for you guys, right? Right? Resistance or support, resistance, right? Resistance, right? What makes you think that from here, when AMD just hit that, what makes you think that we're going to keep mooning, to probably like here, right? This is going to be the next level, like a 120 on AMD. I can almost guarantee you guys that, right? That's going to be the next level of resistance. Let me see. Horizontal, probably your next level is going to be like here somewhere. Can I go lower? No. So probably going to be a little bit lower, like right. I think, yeah, like right there is fine. Yeah, then that's probably going to be your next level of resistance. Actually, I think you actually have another one like right, yeah, like right there. So actually, if you break this, right, your next level is probably going to be here at like 111 or so. 111, 110. And you are also on a nice little uptrend. So you have a nice little uptrend going on the weekly as well. And not only that, but you have a second uptrend you can probably make like right there, right? So on AMD, because you have so much market structure right there, right? So much, like such a huge movement of indecision, right? And again, you rejected off this, right? What makes you think that the other times that you like rejected or supported that you're gonna just push through this without anything, right? So keep in mind, you hit these levels, you reject, hit levels, reject, hit levels, reject, hit levels, reject, right? So what makes you think that we're not gonna do like, come back down to like here, like an 86, and then possibly push up to that next level of like 111, right? There's like a 90% chance that you actually dump from AMD to like an 86 and then push to the upside, right? It's extremely, extremely likely, especially when you've had this range is from what? January 2022 all the way up to August. So when you've had what 7, 8 months of solid structure where you have had resistance, what makes you think that you're not going to dump from here, right? And I can almost guarantee you that every single one of these is roughly the same like numbers. Look at that. That's a 20-ish, 22 number rise. That's a 20-ish, 23 rise right there from here. 20-ish, 22 rise. Look at that. 23. Boom, look at that. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. You go up 21, $22 and then dump. You go up 21, 22, $23 and dump. You go up $23, then dump. I mean, how? It's super easy, right? I would 100% short AMD right now, and you're probably taking this all the way back to like an 84, 85, $85 mark. I'll even leave this up, but this is probably gonna play out in the next week or two, probably on AMD. I really don't think that you push up hard right now. I really don't. You're gonna reject from here, come back down. You just close the bear day, and if you actually do end up breaking this trend here, you're probably gonna come all the way down to 79, come back and retest, and then dump all the way back down to like $68, right? So I'm like almost 100% sure that you're gonna drop to like 86, and then from here you could drop all the way down here, possibly like here somewhere, come back and whoops, retest the underside, and then come all the way down to that first trend from here. And if that trend breaks, you're going all the way back to lows of 55 and then possibly lower, right? But that's unlikely right now. But again, I'm almost 100% sure you're coming back to $86 on AMD. That's how I would buy puts, options, whatever you want to do it. Would you mind explaining more what you were saying about trading on Forex instead of options? Do they have contracts? I don't know. No, it's okay. Forex it's essentially contracts. You're basically trading based off of contracts. It's not very complicated. You trade based off a lot size. So let's say you have a broker, right, that trades a SPY at with an agreement of like one lot equals 100 shares. Keys for the truck
Boy.
or for your car. So, in Forex, you have an agreed upon contract, right? So, for example, this a specific broker, let's call it, John Smith broker. They give you an SPX, right, a SPY, and they're like, you know what, our contract size is 100 shares per one lot, right? And you're like, okay, cool, I can afford 100 shares. My account size is big enough, right? So if your account size is big enough, they offer you one lot in Forex, which is the equivalent of 100 shares of SPY, right? Which equates to 100 times 300 is what, like 30K. So you're now in control of $30,000, right? Whether that goes up 1% or down 1%, that's your own problem. But it's sort of the equivalent of options. Every broker does it differently. Some brokers offer one lot, like your one lot position size is only equal to maybe 10 shares. Some do 100 shares. Some do 50. Some do five. It really just depends on the broker. But it's a lot safer because your contracts don't your contracts or your position does not expire. You control your leverage, right? Forex is kind of like options, where in options, right? In options, you always have control of 100 shares, right? That's just what the contract size is. But in Forex, you can manipulate the size of the option, right? You can control it where maybe you only want to be in charge of 10 shares. Maybe you only want to be in charge of 50 shares. You can control that in Forex. In regular options, the static amount, it's a permanence of 100 shares per contract. You're always going to be in control of 100 shares for an X amount of price. Whereas in Forex, you control the size. So you can trade, if you want to buy the SPY 385 call expiring in 2 weeks, you could do the exact same thing in Forex, but guess what? It doesn't expire. And if you want to change the 100 share contract to maybe you only want to control 10 shares, then that's the difference. You're not, there's no time decay, there's no theta, there's nothing like that, right? There's no premium, there's no IV. It's just, here's your price to long, here's your price to long, here's your price to short. That's it. It's very, 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 it's so much better than options. Options expire, Forex doesn't. It's so much. It's just a regular short and long. Is Tesla still going to sub 100? I still think Tesla is going at low. I think Tesla is at the high right now. My mistake was actually not selling Tesla on March 13th, and that's because I was flying, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to track my position. But March 13th, I think, was when, yeah. So March 13th, he actually came down to 164. I should have sold these, right? And I should have bought calls on Tesla, on this trigger. I would have bought calls on Tesla at 182. I would have probably bought like 190 calls, and I would have sold them as soon as we hit this trend here. But as of right now, I do think we're at the top. I do think Tesla right now is headed back to 167 at least. That's right. That's where I think that Tesla's headed right now. Um, do I think it's going lower than that? That's a lot of that's dependent on the market, right? SPX is starting to run super hard. So now really it just depends on, where's the market gonna go, right? I really thought the market was gonna go a lot lower, a lot sooner, but as of right now, Tesla probably gonna come back down to like 180-ish and then either pop or break this and go all the way down here. But again, that also depends on where the dollar's at. Depends on where the SPX is at. Dollar currently right now, it's not playing nice, right? The dollar is currently it's continuously breaking lows and coming back down. I think dollar's going back down to 1029, possibly to 101. SPX right now is more than likely still running, right? Yeah, still running, right? SPX just hit 399, bro. Like, if the market is crazy bullish right now, um, right? Look at that. After hours, dude. This is after hours, right? You close at 398, you're up a full dollar already, right? After hours. which is pretty nuts, right? And you already closed a full. This is technically a full daily candle above this trend. So technically, as of right now, let me see. Chances are you're probably going up to like a 4015, 402, right? That's what it looks like where you're going right now. It does look like you're going to be going up a little bit higher to retest this here up there. And it doesn't really look like it's settling at all. It just wants to keep running up higher and higher. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot that can happen this week. I personally don't know what's going to happen right now. I still think that we're going to go down because it's basic structure. But, if you're running up this hard after hours or pre market, it gives you a really good idea of what can happen. So as of right now, still, still no idea, man. There's a lot of stuff that can happen right now. But I think with that being said, I've been on for about an hour and 11 minutes. I think that's good for today. For all of you guys that had time and watched this, I definitely recommend you guys go back. I do go into a lot of detail about a lot of stuff. So definitely recommend that. If you guys want to join the Patreon, the link is pinned in the comment section, in the chat of this video. So definitely go there. I also have the link in like my other, or you just go to www.patreon.com/, but I'm not a trader. And then you can just join before I start selling everything for like $750, which I am going to be doing. And I'm making sure to tell everybody so you guys can be grandfathered in. Again, I've had my Patreon for about a year or two now, year and a half, 2 years. And I think it's about time that I start, not short selling myself because I think what I offer is, I want you guys to have this to be grandfathered in, right? So that's why I'm telling you guys to join the Patreon because once I take it away from the Patreon, it's gone for good, right? I'll still post updates on the Patreon. It's more for support. I'm gonna be using that for a lot of stuff still, but once I take it away from the Patreon, it's going to go away until I put it in my website. And then I'm not going to offer my strategies or my indicators until my website is up. And then when it is up, I'm going to be putting them up for like 750, $800, bro. Right. Just because I know how well my strategies work and how well it's helped everybody else. Um, so if you want to be grandfathered in, join the Patreon now before everything gets removed. I'm been trying to warn everybody for the last 2 weeks or so, right? Just letting you guys know. If you guys want to join, that's great. If not, that's cool. But later on, it's gonna go from $10 a month to just one straight price of like $800, right? And I'm doing this because I know exactly what I provide, right? For the last 2 years, people have been getting funded or making like a shit ton of money and stuff. So I'm not gonna undersell myself anymore. But with that being said, really hope you guys join. We have a great community, great people on. Everybody's super fantastic. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend.